Hello everyone, welcome to Babu Banarsidas University. Myself Akash Vashne, Assistant Professor, Department of Electrical Engineering. Today I am going to discuss power system protection. Before starting power system protection, I want to discuss about the power system. Actually, the basic introduction of power system I am going to discuss in this video. Firstly, we have seen that power system are classified into 6 category. Okay, first category is generation mode, second category is transmission mode, third category is distribution mode, fourth category is utilization mode, and last category is protection. Okay, so in this way the power system are classified. First category is generation mode, second category is transmission mode, third category is distribution mode, fourth is utilization, and fifth is protection mode. So firstly we know about the generation. So actually generation means generation. So actually in the generation mode we generate electrical energy at 11 kV. Okay, we have generate electrical energy here, electrical energy with the help of synchronous generator. Okay, for generation there are two sources of energy. First source is called as conventional source, and second source is called as non-conventional source. Okay, in by this two way we have generate electrical energy. Okay, so now we have to understand what is conventional source and what is non-conventional source. Okay, so firstly we discuss the conventional source here. Conventional source, or here we discuss non-conventional source. We have take a difference simultaneously one by one here. Okay, we have give a partition. So firstly conventional source we have thermal power generation, second is nuclear power generation, third is hydel, and last one is gas. By this mode we have generated electrical energy with the help of thermal power plant, with the help of nuclear power plant, with the help of hydel power plant and gas power plant. We have generated electrical energy. But in the non-conventional source we have tidal source of energy. With the help of tides we have generated electrical energy. After that we have wind energy. With the help of wind we have generated electrical energy. Solar form of power plant is there. After that there is a biogas power plant. Then there is a geothermal source is there. Okay, so this is the non-conventional source of energy. Okay, nowadays we are focusing on solar power plant and tidal power plant. Okay, they are very research going on producing the electrical energy with the help of solar power plant at efficient cost. Okay, after that, in the conventional source we have bulk capacity generation. Bulk capacity generation. In non-conventional source we have smaller capacity generation. We have smaller capacity generation. After that, third point is we have generate electrical energy in at the voltage of 132 kV, 400 kV and 76.5 kV. In this fashion we have generate electrical energy in the conventional source. Okay, in the non-conventional source we have generate the electrical energy at 1.1 kilovolt, 600 volt and 400 volt in this fashion. After that, okay, conventional source have high initial cost, but less maintenance cost. In the conventional source of energy we have a high initial cost but less maintenance cost. Okay, less maintenance cost. In non-conventional source there is a less initial cost is there and high maintenance cost. After that we have independence of atmospheric condition. Here there is a independency of atmospheric condition in the conventional source, independent of atmospheric condition in the conventional source. In this we have dependency on atmospheric condition because with if we want to generate electrical energy with the form of solar, so we have dependent on sun. If there is a sun, we have generate electrical energy. Similarly, we have dependency on wind. If the winds are flowing, then we can generate electrical energy in a well efficient manner. So there is a dependency on the atmospheric condition. So here we have dependent on atmospheric condition. Okay, now we see another point in the conventional source is there that conventional source act as a base load plant. Actually we have used thermal power plant, nuclear power plant, hydro power plant, gas power plant on base load. Actually this is used as a base load plant, but except gas power plant, we have using thermal, nuclear and hydel for the base load plant. Okay, now non-conventional source we will see these source of energy power plant act as a peak load plant. We have using as peak load plant except geothermal plant. जियोथर्मल प्लांट को छोड़कर हम बाकी सबको यूज़ करते हैं फॉर द पीक लोड पावर प्लांट के लिए. लास्ट पॉइंट फॉर कन्वेंशनल सोर्स ऑफ एनर्जी दैट वी हैव यूज सिंक्रोनस generator, or we can say at alternator for electrical energy. Okay, synchronous generator or electrical alternator here. For non-conventional source we are using asynchronous generator, or we can use induction generator. Okay, so these are about the conventional source and non-conventional source of energy. For generation point of view, these are very important, or in the power system 1 you have read or learn in detail about the source of energy. I will give you only the brief concept about the generation. Okay, so this is about the generation part. Now we see the basic statistics of generation in India. Now in India we have a thermal power plant. We have a thermal power plant. By thermal power plant we have a generation of 65%. With the help of thermal power plant we have generated 65% of electrical energy. Okay, after that there is a hydroelectric power plant. Hydroelectric power plant we have generated 22% of electrical energy. There is a one more static question of GK, that first hydropower plant is in Darjeeling. Okay, the first hydro power plant is in Darjeeling. This is you have to keep in your mind that first hydropower plant is in Darjeeling. Okay, now we have generate nuclear power plant. We have 3% of electrical energy, and for by other sources mean that with the help of solar farm, with the help of wind farm, with the help of gas power plant, we have generated a rest amount of energy. We have a 10% from other source. Okay, so this is about the generation of thermal power plant, hydroelectric plant, nuclear power plant and other source of plant. Okay, now one more question is there, that in India there is a super thermal power plant. Super thermal power plant. What do you mean by super thermal power plant? Super thermal power plant means that power protection is more than 2000 to 3000 megawatt. Okay, so whose power protection is more than 2000 to 3000 megawatt. 2000 to 3000 megawatt. If there is a power plant whose capacity is lie between 2000 to 3000 megawatt, it is called as super thermal power plant. Okay, we have called it as super thermal power plant. Now there is another more power plant, that is captive power plant. Captive power plant. Another power plant is captive power plant. In captive power plant we have generate electricity self. Okay, self generating power plant is called captive power plant. Okay, nowadays there are various private firms that will generate electricity independently by their own resource. That power plant is called as captive power plant. Okay, so now we have a very important point, that is a note point. This is a very important point, that nuclear power plant have higher energy among the rest of the power plant. First number we have nuclear power plant, after that there is a hydel power plant, then after we have thermal power plant. This is the order of the power plant in terms of cost. Okay, if we have the considering the cost per point, we have the this order of power plant. This is the cost order of power plant. We have the highest cost of nuclear, after that we have hydel, after that we have thermal. Okay, so this is about the India generation part. Now we have moved to the second part. We have moved to the second part, that is the transmission part. Okay, we have moved to the second part, that is transmission part. Okay, so by transmission we will see transmission. Now what do you mean by transmission? Now we have generated electrical energy with the help of synchronous generator at the generating point. Now we want this electrical energy to the consumer end or to the receiving end. So for what medium we have to supply or we have to transmit the electrical energy from generating end to the receiving end? For that we have required a transmission medium. Suppose we have a generation here, this is the generation point, we have generation of 11 kV here, and this is the receiving point, or we can have consumer end. Okay, so we want this electrical energy to this point. So how we can transmit this electrical energy from this end to this end? For transmitting we have required transmission lines. We required transmission line. This transmission line comes to the category of transmission. Okay, so this is about the transmission. Now transmission lines are classified into three categories. First category is short transmission line. Second category is medium transmission line, and third category is long transmission line. Okay, in this way we have transmit our electrical energy from generating end to the receiving end. Okay, so first we have see what is short transmission line. So first we have put a heading short transmission line. So short transmission line, we have classified a standard notation for short transmission line, that the line which is having from 0 to 80 kilometer length we have called is at short transmission line. If the length of transmission line is lie between 0 to 80 kilometer, we have classified into short transmission line, or in terms of voltage we have say 0 to 20 kilovolt we have classified as short transmission line. In short transmission line we have neglect a capacitance. That is denoted by C, and conductance we have to ignore this. Okay, in the criteria of short transmission line. Okay, actually there are 4 transmission line parameter, that is resistance, inductance, capacitance and conductance. These are the four transmission line parameters. This is the transmission line parameter. Okay, so in the short transmission line we have to consider only the resistance and inductance only. Capacitance and conductance are ignored in the short transmission line. Okay, now we have seen the equivalent diagram of short transmission line. Suppose we have a equivalent resistance of transmission line and this is the inductance. Okay, in the short transmission line we have considered resistance and inductance in the form of lumped parameter. Okay, we have considered in the form of lumped parameter. So Rn resistance and inductance are considered in the form of lumped form. Okay, so this is the resistance and this is the inductance. Lumped mean that we have considered the total resistance of transmission line at this single part. Okay, if there is a transmission line, then we have the resistance on every part of transmission line. For every part of transmission line we have considered the total resistance at a single point. At single point we have called it as lumped parameter. Okay, we have, this is the source voltage here, this is the source voltage and this is the receiving end voltage. So in this fashion we have draw the equivalent diagram of transmission line. Okay, this is clear to you. You have to consider that the length of transmission line is 0 to 80 kilometer is there and the voltage is 0 to 20 kilovolt is there. Capacitance and conductance are ignored here and resistance and inductance are in the lumped form. Okay, now we will see, and one more point is there, that we have used short transmission line for, if we want to protect the short transmission line we have to use reactance relay. We have to use reactance relay. We have to use reactance relay. Actually in the power system protection I am going to discuss the relay. For relay we have tell you about the protection, for what protection which type of relay is used. Okay, so you have to learn that for short transmission line we have to use reactance relay. Okay, after that we will discuss in detail about the relay chapter. Now we have see medium transmission line. We have used medium transmission line. Medium transmission line. Medium transmission line is classified from 80 to 160 kilometer length. If the length of transmission line is lie from 80 to 160 kilometer, then we call it at medium transmission line. Okay, now here is a voltage range of 20 to 100 kilovolt. Okay, in this we have used resistance, inductance and capacitance in the lumped form, lumped parameter. Okay, we have used resistance, inductance and capacitance in the form of lump, and we have to ignore the conductance here. We have ignored conductance in the medium transmission line. We have to ignore conductance. Okay, so now there are four equivalent diagram of medium transmission line. Okay, four equivalent diagram. First is source and capacitance. Source and capacitance. Second is load and capacitance is there, and third is nominal T method, and fourth is nominal pi method. There are the four equivalent diagram in the medium transmission line. First is source and capacitance, second is load and capacitance. Now we will see what do you understand by source. Here we use capacitance at the source side. Suppose we have used we have three parameter here: resistance, inductance and capacitor. So we have draw, this is the resistance and this is the inductance and this is the capacitance. So in this way we have draw the equivalent. This is resistance, this is inductance, this is capacitance, and this is the receiving sending end voltage, this is the receiving end voltage. Okay, so this is about the sources capacitance equivalent driver. In the load at capacitance, we have used capacitance on the load side. Suppose this is the resistance, this is the inductance and this is the capacitance. We have used capacitance at the load side. Okay. Now third equivalent diagram of medium transmission line is nominal T method. Nominal T method. T means that the equivalent diagram is in the form of T shape. Okay, so T shape we have see. Suppose we have to make T shape here. This is the resistance, this is the inductor, and this is the resistance, this is the inductor, and this is the capacitance. Okay, this is the receiving end voltage, and this is the this is the sending end voltage, and this is the receiving end voltage. Now in the nominal T method, half of the resistance is represent here and half of the resistance is represent after the capacitor. Similarly, we have used half of the inductance here and half of the inductance here, and this is the capacitance C. This is the nominal T method. In the power system 1, you have learned and study about the transmission line parameter in details. Here you will see the derivation, that how you will write the ABCD parameters, and what are the efficiency, what are the voltage regulation. But these things are we are not going to discuss here. We have to give you the overview of power system. Okay, after that we have used nominal pi method. Nominal pi method. Nominal pi means that the equivalent diagram is in the form of pi shape. Suppose this is the resistance and this is the inductance. Okay, now pi, you have to make here one capacitance and one capacitance here. This is the sending end voltage, this is the receiving end voltage, and this is the resistance and this is inductance. Now capacitance are divided into two parts. So this is the half capacitance here we use and half capacitance we have used here. So this is nominal pi method. Now we have know about the third transmission line, that is the long transmission line. The long transmission line means long transmission line. Long transmission line is greater than 160 kilometer. If the length of transmission line is greater than 160 kilometer, we have classified as long transmission line, and the voltage is greater than 100 kilovolt. Okay, in this long transmission line we have considered all the parameter, that R, L, C parameters in the distributive form. Okay, we have not considered here in the lumped form. In the long transmission line we have considered all the parameters in the distributive form. Okay, so this is about the transmission line part. So in this video I am discussing the generation part. Okay, next we have discussed the transmission part. In the next video I am going to discuss the distribution and utilization and protection part.